Day of cardio. Today is last day of the week for cardio. April 23rd, 2025, 8:21 EST. So, I know there's probably going to be some noise. This AC thing kicks on and kind of ruins the sound a little bit, but we're going to try to pick up the volume of my voice as much as I can. And I need to look in and see if I can film with like a microphone. I'll do that this weekend. I'll look up and see. Because I know this really kills the volume. But I get right into it. Alright, where's my shirt? I'll bring my shirt over here. Ooh, yeah. Alright. Start, what the hell? I didn't say nothing about that. Let's get on into it. Oh. Get my shoes on. Been watching this some old stuff recently. Gomer Pyle, USMC. That show, I forgot how funny that was. They don't make them like that anymore, unfortunately. But I'm gonna jump right into it and get my headphones on here. What's my headphone on? 91%, that's plenty. Plenty. Alright. Also, oh yeah. Started. Distance a bit. What the hell? I was gonna see my workout on there. Here we go. Nice slow. Just gotta get my knees in motion. This AC unit should cut off soon and improve the sound quality a bit. I was listening back to my last stream. I realized y'all could barely hear me because that thing was so loud. Alright, we're picking up our heart rate. Pick up the pace. rate's still being tracked. It hasn't come up with anything yet. Oh, it's chilly down here. I'm gonna have to warm myself up with this. There we go. It just cut off, so y'all should be able to hear me better now. Heart rate's at 110. Just coming up to zone 2 at 111. Alright. I played some Warzone a bit yesterday. That was pretty fun. I was streaming on Twitch. If y'all like gaming and stuff, you can follow my Twitch. I do believe it's in my channel description. CHC_KingD91. And we had fun over there. I played with my bro. I played with old friend from North Carolina and his cousin. And also I was playing with my nephew before that. It was real fun. So I'll probably be back on sometime later today once I get a lot of stuff done. Alright, let's get this heart rate up. Yeah. Yeah. So this thing there we go. Whew. 125 on the heart rate. This is good. Nice, good zone. Did our upper body yesterday. I was working out with 205. Then that thing kicked back on quick. Oh well. Sorry for the sound quality, y'all. I'm gonna look up and see if I can stream the microphone while I'm doing this. Yes, you can stream the microphone on your phone directly to YouTube. You can use your phone's built-in microphone or connect an external mic. Via USB. Huh. I'm gonna have to find out how to do that while still being able to charge my phone. Because I know my battery will die. We'll figure it out. The iPhone, of course, had to take away the 3.5mm headphone jack. So, but I'm sure they sell an accessory, you know, keyword sell. heart rate 122. 60 calories burned. Damn, it's cold. I'm still sweating though. It's like when you start sweating and it's cold and the air hits your sweat, it makes it like double cold. $135 on the heart rate. I'm gonna have to pick it up and warm up. I cannot work this temperature. Yes, sir. Yep. Saw that here. Yeah. 130 on the heart rate. About 85 calories in. So we do about 85 calories per 10 minutes. Sometimes 90. That's in zone 2, so. Wow. Excuse me. $149 on the heart rate. Probably gonna bring it up a bit more just to feel it. 165. Yeah. Just wanted to touch it. Yeah. 167. I think that'll be fine. It's good to touch a higher zone for a bit. 166. Should I go 70? $171. Yeah. 173. We'll bring it back down. And that's zone 4, right zone 5. It warmed me up though. I tell you that. Woo. Get that heart going. That's not it. Easy. Feels good. Feels good to such a high rate. Start really sweating. We're going to bring it back down to zone 2. Excuse me. 142. Sweat coming down. I went to Spencer's yesterday, looking at some stuff. I went to a few places in the mall, but I was looking for a Def Leppard shirt. I couldn't find one, so I got a Deftones shirt instead, and I got a Goodfellas shirt too. You know, I had to get a Goodfellas shirt for Uncle Tony, you know. But I was telling the cashier, the clerk. I was like, yeah, man, I caught a charge over Joe Pesci. Back in the day, I got a communicating a threats charge for, there's these soundboards on a website called E-Bombs World, and they had Joe Pesci on there. He says some crazy shit. They clipped him saying the stuff from Goodfellas, and I was prank calling some people that I knew, and his dad answered the phone, and he used to be a retired police chief, so he didn't take too kindly to Mr. Pesci's words. Next thing I knew, the cops showed up at my house, and I had my shirt off. I wasn't even fit at this time, and I remember the cop being like, yeah, those muscles aren't going to help you in jail. Like, I didn't really say they were. I really didn't have any muscles. But yeah, I caught a charge over that. I thought it was funny. He thought it was funny. It wasn't at the time, obviously. I had to pay some money. Well, I didn't have to pay money. I pled guilty because at the time I couldn't afford a lawyer. So I ended up doing community service. And I guess you could say that was the money I had to pay since time was money. All the other charges I got, I had to pay money though. About $400. Zone 2, almost 200 calories in. And we're doing it. Appreciate that, Stan. I've been doing cardio now for about 3 years, so consistency is key, as well as nutrition. But you also have to be consistent in your nutrition. So when I started, I made sure that I got my nutrition dialed in first, made sure I could be consistent with that before I added an exercise. Otherwise, I knew I was going to overwhelm myself trying to do nutrition on top of exercise. And it's very, very hard, damn near impossible to outtrain a bad diet. So, it's very important that you dial those calories in, calories out. I wasn't eating the best at the very beginning. I was eating out a lot. Eating Chinese, eating Pizza Hut, eating Wendy's. And my physique showed it. I mean, I was never like super obese or anything, but I was definitely overweight. I had titties. I had rolls. And I felt like crap, so once I started dialing in my nutrition, it made things a lot easier. I started losing weight just from that at first. Then I told myself, shoot, if I'm losing weight just doing this, now that I got this second nature, imagine how much more, how my physique would improve by adding in this exercise. Particularly the exercise that I sucked at because I never did it, which was cardio. I would hit the gym, sometimes, because, you can just go into the gym, you can go in and just do about 45 minutes to an hour and you're all done. And you're not just constantly moving, you're having rest in between. But we never really did cardio. So I started changing my mindset. It's like, I don't suck at cardio, I just don't do it. And how are you going to be good at something that you just don't do? So I switched up my mindset. Start doing the stuff that I want to be better at, which at the time was cardio and pull-ups. And that's what we did. Here we are, 3 years later, doing cardio. If you would have told me 3 years ago, yeah, man, you'd be doing 80-kilometer, 100-kilometer rides, I would have been laughing at you. You're like, okay. But no. That's what we do, so. And that's what we are doing now. We'll continue to do it. zone 2 right now. How did I get motivated to do it? I just got to a certain point in life, I guess. I told myself, look man, you're already 31 years old. You're not getting any younger. And I noticed this pattern. Like anytime a girl or somebody would start talking to me, I would only start working out then. And I noticed that, and I was like, this isn't supposed to be for other people, this is supposed to be for your health. Stop giving other people the power over everything you do. So I decided to take my power back. And that's what I did. I said, look, you're not getting any younger. It's not going to get easier the older you get. Not saying you can't start at a later age. Some people have started in their 50s and made incredible physiques at that age, but there's just always this stigma like, oh, New Year's is coming around. I'm gonna, right after this cake that I just bought, I'm gonna start working out then. Well, there's never gonna be a perfect time to start. You're never gonna be at 100% and just, oh yeah. You have to build that energy. I noticed I was like getting anxiety, I was getting like low energy levels. And a lot of people, what they do, they turn to the doctor. Oh, do you have a pill for my anxiety? Do you have a pill for this, a magic pill? And yeah, they're gonna be there to sell you anything, but my anxiety was coming from the fact that I had all this time in a day and I wasn't doing anything with it. I wasn't being active. And I think it was a response, my body's response to, knowing that, feeling that. So I noticed once I started really pushing myself, doing this exercise, it got me to a point where my anxiety was going way down. I was getting way more better sleep at night because my body was actually tired at the end of the day. And it was really helping me manage stress on a whole new level. A lot of people think, oh, I'm so stressed out. How am I going to exercise? Well, that's the key. You exercise and it helps you deal with those little stresses. I used to get upset over little things like a game or just stupid stuff. But once I put that extra stress on me, stress that nothing else could affect me that way. If I can put myself through this much, all that little stuff that happens during the day is not going to affect me like that. So that's what I did. And I feel like it's really been working. I hadn't had anxiety. I used to get anxiety over the smallest stuff. I'd be standing in line somewhere and just people being around would give me anxiety. Like, bro, this ain't right. My confidence level has skyrocketed. And that probably comes from just setting out these goals and accomplishing these challenges that I never thought I could do. So I think that played a major role in motivating me, taking my power back. Also, my mom passed away in 2020 from cancer. And I literally watched her take her last breath, so I wanted to honor her legacy because I come from her. Her blood is inside of me, so it's the best thing I can do. how many times a week do you exercise? I exercise 6 times a week. So I do cardio Monday, I do upper body Tuesday, I do cardio again on Wednesday, then I do back on Thursday. Friday I go back to upper body, and Saturday I also do back again. I need to start putting some legs in there too, but Sunday is strictly for rest for me. I take a full day of rest on Sunday. But you can do many different ways. You can do like upper body, like say you want to train twice a day, 2 a days, just make sure it's different parts of your body. So if you're doing upper body in the morning, come back at night and do legs, and then take a day of rest. Then you can come back the next day and do back in the morning, or like do cardio in the morning and then back, day of rest. As long as you're not working like upper body and then upper body and then upper, like you don't want to keep spamming upper body or legs or back or anything like that, or cardio. You got to give some time to recover. That's where that channel that was calling me out was going wrong. I noticed on his videos, every single video was arm day, arm day, arm day, arm day, arm day. Then you might get legs, and then it was arm day, arm day, arm day. Never trained back. Never trained cardio. And that's why he wasn't growing properly, other than in his midsection. Get up this out for a bit. For about 268 calories burned after then. So yeah, I train about 6 times a week. But when I started, it was a slow build-up because I wasn't really used to it. So I had to start off slow and slowly build that consistency over time. I don't recommend just starting off and, I'm going to hit 6 days a week. 3 to 5 times a week will be a good way to start. And then the more you do it, the more consistent you get, the more you can start adding in more. It is cold, it is cold, it is cold. Sheesh. That stuff is blowing on me like no tomorrow. It feels really good outside too. Let's see. 57. Damn near 60 degrees outside. High's gonna be 77. Oh goodness. It's all good. World don't revolve around me. So I'm gonna have to take a piss here soon. I took a half a scoop of pre-workout. Yesterday I didn't take any caffeine. Monday I took 1 energy drink. That was the first one I took in weeks. About 3 weeks, so. I got my nutrition course passed. I did my exam, 110 questions, passed 96 out of 110. So I got graded at 90%, 87.7%. They were nerve off of 90. And I'm very happy about that. So I'm now a nutrition coach, as well as a certified personal trainer. And to me, you know, you could take it a step higher and become a dietitian, but I like nutrition coach better because what we get to do is show people how to create their own meal plans instead of just making a meal plan for someone. It's the difference between teaching a man to fish and just giving a man a fish. I'd much rather teach a man to fish. You can go a lot further with that. This girl also, she sent me this TikTok about from the functional nerves or something. She was saying how everything was related to your cortisol level. But the whole video was just for her to sell this new product called Moringa. Never heard of this product, but she was saying it's got like 20 times the amount of vitamins, 9 times the amount of protein in yogurt, this and that. So I looked into it, and I saw that the fat-soluble vitamins that were in this Moringa stuff was super elevated. It had like 1,000% of the daily value. And you want to be very careful with getting too many of the fat-soluble vitamins, which are vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D, and vitamin K. Because it's no problem to really get too much of the water-soluble vitamins like vitamin C and the other ones, because you can just pee it out. But the fat-soluble ones are a lot more damaging because they stay in your body, and you do not want to get too much of those. So I do not recommend the Moringa at all. They're just trying to sell you a product that's going to destroy your health even more. And her being a nurse, she's going to profit off of that. So do not take that Moringa. That's just my recommendation. So I'll be sure to put a timestamp in this video about that, so you don't have to watch the whole 2 hours and figure out where it was. I'm going to start making shorts on the timestamps too, just to get straight to the point, because I do drop a lot of gems during these cardio sessions, but again, people may not have that whole 2 hours to sit through. So I want to make it a little bit easier for y'all to get the information, because that's what this is for, to educate people, as well as to motivate people. That's why I'm showing myself doing the cardio. I want to motivate you too. Maybe that gives some people some visual stimulation on, seeing someone else do it can spark something inside of them to make them want to do it. When I was young, I used to play like games, like football on the PlayStation and stuff. And every time I'd get done playing, I would want to go outside and play that football. So it's like a psychological thing that can help spark some motivation. But we're at 324 active calories burned right now, 121 in the heart rate. We're putting in the work. Oh yeah. Excuse me. Under 28 heartbeats per minute. We're right at the high end of zone 2, which is where we want to be for the fat burner. So if y'all are also taking a multivitamin, I recommend checking out the percentages of the fat-soluble vitamins, because those are the ones that can do more damage if you have too many of them. The water-soluble vitamins, they're not going to do much harm because you could just pee them right out if you get excess. Fat-soluble ones, they stay in your body a lot more and they can do a lot more damage. So stay away from Moringa and stay away from multivitamins that jack up the fat-soluble vitamins, such as vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. Those are the only vitamins that are fat-soluble. And the Moringa, particularly, those were the ones that were the highest, was the fat soluble ones. And it makes perfect sense why a nurse was promoting that. It's disgusting, really. The same way if you go to a nutrition shop and you tell them, hey, I want to build muscle. And the guys look at you and say, well, they all say the same thing. They all have to read off the same script. Well, you need to eat 3,000 calories. No. Unless you're on steroids, you do not need to be eating that many calories. Otherwise, it's going to start, yeah, you're going to gain some muscle, but you're going to gain a lot of fat as well. And what do they stand to do? Well, they stand to make more money on the fat burners. And they're going to just keep trying to sell you more products. There's nothing wrong with buying protein and stuff, but they're just trying to sell and maximize their profits. So be careful of the myths. The salesman's myths. Same thing when you go to buy a car, they're always trying to upsell you on additional fees. If you look at a car, look at the MSRP. That's how much the car is worth. If they're trying to upsell you on, they're trying to charge about $5,000 more than the MSRP, don't do it. Talk to them, keep talking to them, talk to someone higher up until you can make a deal on that MSRP. Otherwise, don't even go through them. They're not worth it. There's going to be a dealership out there that will sell you at the MSRP, so. And there's plenty of channels now that expose that too. A lot of times it's someone who's worked at a dealership or that knows the right things to say to these people, and they're basically making channels to show you how to do it. Because a lot of people, they don't want to haggle. They just think, oh, the dealership's going to set the right price for me. And they don't. They try to upsell you on everything. What's up, Jay? We're going and we're getting it. I'm going to be on Warzone later on today. Try to get some dubs again. I was just exposing a couple of fitness myths, industry myths in particular. There's this new thing going around, people are trying to promote, it's called Moringa. And I do not recommend that. Hell yeah, man, hit it. I'll probably be on around the same time. Make me a shake and I'll be ready. It's this new supplement. It's called Moringa and they're trying to promote it. This girl, I've never even heard of it until this girl told me about it. And she sent me this TikTok. I guess the name of it was The Functional Nurse, and she's promoting this stuff. So I looked up what it was, and she was like, yeah, it's got 10 times the amount of vitamins, it's got 9 times more protein, this and that. Well, I looked up on the back, the fat side, the ones you do not want to get too much of, because they stay in your body, they do more damage if you overdose on them. Stuff like vitamin C, that's water soluble, you're just going to pee that out. So if you get too much of that stuff, it's not really a big deal. But the fat soluble vitamins, you do not want it too much of. And in particular, this stuff had all the fat soluble vitamins jacked up. And it makes perfect sense because who was promoting it? A nurse. They stand to make money off of people getting more illnesses and more problems. And this girl that sent me that also works in the medical field. She never heard of it. She was just showing me about it, and I told her do not do that stuff. It's sickening to see what people will do just for profit. How people will sacrifice the client's health and tell them, oh, this is something good. And heck, maybe they don't know that it's bad. Maybe they're being told by someone else, promote this, we'll give you this money, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't take much research to know you do not want to get too many fat-soluble vitamins. And what those vitamins are vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D, and vitamin K. Those are fat-soluble vitamins. All your other vitamins are normally water-soluble, and you're going to be able to just pee them out if you have too many. But the fat-soluble ones, they stay in your body, and they can do a lot more damage if you have too many of them. So stay away from that moringa. A bunch of crap. Oh yeah, it's sickening. It's disgusting. They do not care about the person. They care about the profit. And it pisses me off when I see stuff like that. In fact, I'm going to go back to that functional nurse's page on TikTok, and I'm going to make my own comment exposing it. And I hope many people can see it as possible. But it's probably going to get flushed out in all the other comments that, you know, they have several comments on there. But I know even if one person sees it, that's one person that's not going to get fooled. Same with this channel. It doesn't get promoted like the channels, like mukbang channels, Lizzo, Dave Blunt's. They want to promote stuff like that. Those people aren't as successful. They would never be what they are if they didn't have the push behind them. And we all know who's pushing them. If you know, you know. I don't gotta say it. We all know. But we're here to expose it. I'm at 411 after calories burned, 127 on the heart rate, sticking with zone 2. I went up to 171 earlier just to feel it. It felt good. I was sweating my balls off. But I'm probably going to take a quick piss here, because I'm feeling it. I took half a scoop of pre-workout today. And it's pretty nice going through me now. Blowing right on me when I walk by it. Alright. Let's get it. Get a clip in here. What the heck? Alright. Get my clip in for a second. Pick it back up. we doing it. Pick up these weights, little 3-pound weights. Give you a little bit more of a boost on your heart rate. All good, bro. You getting it done, I see. We're at 430 active calories in. Coming up on 50 minutes. So just about halfway. 650 active calories to be halfway. And we're just taking our time. Not drifting out of zone 2. If we hit zone 3 for a bit, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're not really going to go above zone 3 any more than we did earlier today. But like I said, y'all, I'm going to definitely include some timestamps on this. Especially the one with the Moringa. XRP's moving up. Hell yeah. I still have a little bit in there. Woo. Hell yeah. I don't have that much in there. It goes so damn crazy. You never tell what it's really gonna do. Then you got people at the top that know what it's gonna do. They're never gonna tell us. So it can get pumped and dumped at any time. That's good shit. That's over half right there. Do you ever take it out and then put it back when it gets low, or you just leave it in there? A lot of places that do taxes, you gotta pay a huge, like, you gotta pay like $100 extra just to do the taxes on it, I think. So it's never really worth taking it out unless you're gonna make more off of it. Then you gotta pay the taxes on it, which I forget what the percentage is. So they're gonna be making money regardless. And then the money that you are gonna make is gonna be less than what you actually make. The big wigs. The Rothschilds. Motherfuckers got 20 trillion. They ain't never gonna have to worry. That whole family will never have to worry. They got the whole world tied up. They got the whole world in their hands. But the birth rates are going down. You hear the Trump administration is trying to find a way to encourage women to have more kids, particularly white women. I'll leave it and buy on the dip. That's the best way to do it. It's taking it out, it's just gonna have to pay more tax on it. Unless they just dump the whole thing, but no, there's a lot of people that invest in it now, so. But yeah, they're trying to encourage people to have more kids. They're running out of slaves, man. Also put it in a tandem wallet. Tangent wallet. Is that like something that stores your crypto? Excuse me. Oh yeah. Heart rate's at 130. Fill my drink back up here. Coming up on 500 active calories burned. The damn spring died on my water jug. I have to put a new spring in it. Oh yeah. I wonder how much your Bitcoin BlackRock owns. Mr. Fink. It's a physical card that you can store your crypto. Oh. Oh yeah. It says BlackRock's iShare Bitcoin Trust owns approximately 573,664.8 Bitcoin as of April 21st, 2025. This is a significant portion of the total Bitcoin supply, representing a substantial investment by BlackRock in the cryptocurrency market. Why doesn't that surprise me? They got the whole world in their hands. BlackRock is pretty wealthy. Needless to say. Exercise ring closed. 125 on the heart rate. 500 active calories burned. $136 on the heart rate. Bringing it up. That's a good question. they wanted to, they could probably get on a lot if they don't already. Let's find out. It says there is no publicly confirmed information about BlackRock owning XRP. A rumor circulating about them investing $9 trillion in XRP was a misinterpretation, because $9 trillion is their total assets under management, not an investment specifically in XRP. Top XRP holders by percentage is Ripple number 1, Binance, Ripple number 2, and Upbit. The better question is who owns those companies? It is owned by Ripple Labs, co-founded by Chris Larson and Jed McCaleb. Who are those people? Chris Larson. Sounds like larceny. Chris Larson. Ah. Let's see. He's ranked on the Forbes 400 of the richest people in America. Worth about $59 billion. I see. A lot of people are saying he is of a specific heritage. Makes sense. XRP is the future digital payment system. Ripple, who does that? Yeah. Ripple's owned by Chris Larson and Jed McCaleb. And you can do a little bit of research into those people and find out all you need to know. 6-point star type stuff. Makes sense. rate 122 real quick. On the heart rate. Coming up on 600 active calories burned. Almost halfway done. Alright, 603 active calories. 122 on the heart rate. Right at zone 2. Definitely sweating more from the caffeine. So we stand to hit 1,200 active calories by the 2 hour and 20 minute mark. .28 on the heart rate, high into zone 2, right where we want to be. 129, even higher. Good feeling. Oh yeah. Looking good, looking good. What weights did I do yesterday? I worked out with 205 yesterday. 3 sets of 6. But the first one I did 7 reps. And then I did incline at 185, 3 sets of 5. And I did my shoulder press, seated shoulder press for 140 pounds, 3 sets of 5. So I did a little bit of volume yesterday, and then I'm going to bring it back to 225 on Friday and see if I get the whole 3 sets of 4. See how the volume translates. Working my way up to 3 sets of 7 with 205, and it should increase my 225 reps. So I look forward to that going up. But for a while I was just training heavy with low reps, and it was taking longer to go up. So I think the volume's going to help. Same with the way I did with my deadlifts. I've been doing 3 sets of 10 with 500. So I think next time I do higher weight, like 565, I'll be able to easily get that 3 sets of 5 with that. I might even work up to 3 sets of 12 with the 500. I remember when 450 doing 3 sets of 10 was damn near impossible for me. But it's coming back. Yeah, man, I'm excited for it. I should have filmed yesterday, but I was watching some old TV shows that reminded me of Mom. Gomer Pyle, U.S. Marine Corps show. Dude, that show was so fucking funny. Some of the jokes in there, it's just how things work and play out in it is funny as heck. They don't make shows like that anymore. But I'm about halfway done with the first season of that. Oh yeah, it's just a matter of time. Once I put 5 good years of training in on the weights, I expect to be where I need to be. Or where I want to be. Not saying I need to be there, but I do want to be there, so. That's still weighing 150 pounds. I was watching a video of a guy my weight doing that and his journey through it. It took years to hit that 315, so that's going to be my goal. I don't think there's there are some people that can do it. Jen Thompson, shit, she's a woman, she weighs like 130 maybe, 140 something, and she's hitting 315, so it takes years, but it can be done. Once you're that low of a weight and you're hitting that much, that's a fucking feat in my opinion. You could go to just about any powerlifting meet and crush the competition with that. She weighed 148 when she competed last, I think it says here. Let me see. Yeah, she's a beast. It's Gomer Pyle USMC. It's basically like U.S. Marine Corps. So it's Gomer Pyle after he leaves Andy Griffith, and he joins the Marine Corps. And they tie it in pretty good. I like how they did it. But I used to watch Andy Griffith with Mom all the time. And we watched that too. When I was taking her to her chemo appointments, we were watching the USMC a lot. It's a great show. Woo! A lot. Oh yeah. Heart rate's 120. Coming up on 700 active calories burned. Yeah, you can watch that show on YouTube if you just type in Gomer Pyle USMC. I think they have like the whole first season on there. The drill sergeant, man, he's a trip. Sergeant Carter. He died at the age of 51 of a heart attack. And I think he was a heavy smoker and drank. Sergeant Carter. His name was Frank Sutton. Frank Sutton. But yeah, he was hilarious. But this is also why we train so hard on cardio as well. Also why I stopped vaping and stuff. I did enough smoking and vaping. Even stopped the gummies now. But it says he was a heavy smoker. And I'm assuming that was cigarettes. That show is well embedded. Mom loved that show. Yeah, she did. And yeah, she loved I Love Lucy as well. And I Dream of Jeannie, yep. Those were all great shows. I don't even know of any shows nowadays that are worth watching. None of it's family related. You get like Bad Girls, this and that, like it's a bunch of stupidity. Stuff that destroys the nuclear family. Because they know they stand to make money off that. Separate everybody. They have to pay more. Promote the garbage. At least stuff was still family oriented back then. Yeah, it's not hard it's like a routine. Once you do it for up to a month, hell, even 2 weeks, it's like you don't even really think about it anymore. It's like I was doing it, once I started cardio and stuff, I was doing it less because I was obviously doing more other stuff outside of that. But anytime I was nearby it or gaming or not really doing anything physically, it's like I was there, the vape was there, and I would just go ahead and inhale it. But I was still coughing a lot from it. That could not be good on my lungs. So I got to the point where I was only taking gummies for a while, but then my milligram on the gummies got so high that I started not even feeling it, and I'm like, what am I spending money on something that I'm not even feeling or getting anything out of? And then I just said, screw it. I can't imagine people were enjoying hearing me cough anyway. I remember one time AB's mom came over to visit Mom when we lived on Carlos, and I took a hit in the room. I was coughing so hard. She was like, is he okay in there? Yeah, probably not the best thing for me. And I damn sure don't need it. The mind leads the body. So the vape's not going to put itself up to my mouth and force me to inhale. But when you have like a lot of people around you that do it and you see it all on TV, it kind of gives you that feeling of comfort. Like, oh, well, this is an accepted thing. It's socially accepted. He's doing it. You know, they're doing it. Shit, I can be like, you know, I can fit in better if I do it too, right? Nah, you don't have to. You could still be cool with those people without doing it, you know? Same thing with eating, you know? It's like, whenever you start eating right and stuff, you're going to have a lot of people around you that don't eat right, that are going to be like judging you for the way that you eat, or you're not going to go out to the restaurant with them, or you're not eating the cake that they made. It's like, hey, it's nothing against you as a person. Like, I don't expect them to eat what I eat either, so. But there are people that will try to, you know, you've heard it before, like, oh, you're not a man, you're not drinking the full Pepsi, you're drinking the diet. Like, come on, dude, what kind of what kind of psyop is that? Like, do you need someone to drink the full Pepsi with you for you to feel like you, like, good about yourself? Like, I get it, misery loves company, but you could still be around people that don't do that. Maybe they can't, maybe they feel inadequate, but you as a person, you can still be around those people and, you know, it doesn't bother you. Especially once you really stand on your belief like that. Nothing that they say or no temptation, no amount of peer pressure can really change that once you make your full decision for yourself. But naturally we like to fit in, we like to be a part of something. But if that's something that you're being a part of is negative for you, you don't have to do it. It's like, I'm sure there's a bunch of people on Skid Row that are just doing fentanyl and shit. We don't find any reason to go out there and try to fit in with those people, so. Same thing applies with, you know, eating right, exercise and doing cardio. You got your steroid heads, oh, I don't do cardio, the cardio's bad. So they try to convince people that it's not good. And then when those people don't see the actual results, they may be getting stronger, but they don't look like those guys, they're going to want to try to do something else to fit in with them. Oh, let me start taking this stuff. Nah. Just because they get out of breath just standing there and talking to you doesn't mean everybody's going to be the same way. And they can come up with all the disparaging terms they want to come up with. Call you a pencil neck, call you whatever they call you. Try to make you feel inadequate when really they just wish they had more people doing what they're doing. So hey man, we all get our own life, our own mind, our own brain, and we're responsible for controlling it. Otherwise, all these programs they have set out are going to control it for you. And some people don't like to think for themselves. They like to just be told what to do, told what to think, told what to believe. And they're content with that, with being led. So for the people that watch me, I want to at least lead them in the right direction. Something that's going to benefit them. And like I said, they're not going to promote this channel like they're going to promote Lizzo, like they're going to promote Dave Blunt's, like they're going to promote mukbang channels and steroid user channels. Mr. Natty Ohearn, bull fucking shit. And I just hate when he knows he's going to get more engagement by saying he's natty, because there's going to be a lot of people that understand fitness and nutrition. They're going to comment, and I've done it on several of his videos, comment and calling out for it. To me, it's like stolen valor. Why keep saying you're natty when you know you're not? But I get it. It serves for his engagement. And it's just like, we're going to comment on that, the people that put in the hard work, doing the cardio and stuff, training. Like, hey man, if you're, and I have no problem with people that actually say their own gear. I never comment on their shit like that because they're not embellishing. It's like once you actually use this stuff and you get the results, but you still want to claim natty, you're embellishing and you're diminishing other people's hard work. It's like, no man. Not saying he didn't have to go to the gym, but he's damn sure not natty. He's the king of the fake natties. Because he's definitely at least on TRT, which is legal in the United States. It's like, hey, you can come out and just say, hey, I'm on TRT, I got it medically prescribed. But he knows per engagement he stands to make more off of this channel and stuff by lying about that stuff. He even makes merch about it. But there are some people out there that don't know enough about fitness and nutrition that are going to actually believe him, which is sad, but is what it is. There's enough information out there for people to learn, especially if you go to school and learn more about it. Also, just look up history before they ever existed, the records and things like that. It doesn't take too much to find out. But you do got to do some research and use your own mind instead of just letting people lead you and tell you these things. Because there's a lot of people out there that are going to make money off of leading you astray. Alright, we're about 800 active calories in. We're at 792 right now, 793. I'm going to take another piss as soon as I hit 800. We gotta get that out. 797, 131 on the heart rate, 130 now. And 799, we'll go ahead and slow it down. I'll take a quick fix. 800. Alright, I'll be right back. Warming up, though. To it. Nothing to do it but to do it. Nothing to it but to do it. Phew. Oh yeah. That's all that is. Oh yeah. Fun fact about cardio. The guy that made cardio popular, it was in the 70s. His name was Jim Fixx. And ironically enough, he died of a heart attack. But Mr. Fixx was also a big smoker. So, there's that. He had a 2-pack-a-day smoking habit. But he did decide to quit. He died at 52. I'm not sure what his diet was. So I've seen a lot of people say, oh, cardio's not good for you. With the guy that made it popular, he died of a heart attack. Well, they left out the fact that he was a huge smoker as well. He also had a genetic predisposition for heart problems. So, it's kind of a double threat when you add smoking on top of that. Looks like the stream's lagging a bit. That means the audio's probably lagging a bit too. Not audio. 844 calories in, 122 on the heart rate, right around zone 2. A good stretch in my upper body with this. Oh yeah. Brought our heart rate up a bit. 124. Probably gonna go up a bit more. Woo. $855 on the active calories. Alright. Holding the weights out right now. Coming up on 900 after calories burned. Yeah. We doing it. Woo. Feeling good, feeling good. $120 on the heart rate. How many calories do you eat per day? I eat about 24 to 2,600 calories per day. And when I do these sessions, I do 2 cardio sessions per week. And I burn about 1,300 calories per session. So that's 2,600 calories right there that I burn. On top of my non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is NEAT for short. That's just like the little movements I do out throughout the day, going up and down stairs, you know, preparing my meals, just moving in general. Because I also burn calories doing that. On top of the calories that your basal metabolic rate burns just by existing, you know, breathing in and out, your hair growing, your nails growing. So you take that number, 1,300 plus all the other movement I do in the day. I think by the end of the day, active calorie wise, it's somewhere around at least maybe 2,000 on the days that I do cardio. Matter of fact, I can show you, I can find out right now on my fitness app. Well, actually not while I'm doing cardio, but I can look back at it and see. Unless I have a picture somewhere, which I might. Okay, let's see. Okay, here we go. For a day that I do cardio, it's about 2,495 calories. When was this? June 2024. I may have been doing 100-kilometer rides at that time. In 2023, I was definitely doing 100-kilometer rides. So I'll double check now and see what it is once I finish this. It just won't let me look at the app while my watch is going. Or at least look at my past results while my watch is going. So. We only do about 80-kilometer rides now, so I had to save some calories for my weight training. Heart rate's at 126, 917 active calories burned. Just under 400 calories to go. Shouldn't take too long. About an hour and 44 minutes in. So about 35 minutes left, I'd say. Including the cool down. 110 on the heart rate. Gotta bring it back up some. How do you get out of your comfort zone? You have to slowly start to do it. You can't just jump right into everything at once. So, like I was saying before with the nutrition and stuff, just changing your diet alone is going to be kind of uncomfortable, because you're already comfortable with how you eat. You're comfortable like eating the stuff that other people around you eat. So little steps at a time, one step at a time, you'll be able to just get comfortable with being uncomfortable in those things. And then, like I said, once it becomes second nature, then it becomes comfortable. So now you have enough inside to add something else that's a little bit uncomfortable, which is like exercise. So little doses, you know. Same thing with anything, you know. Heck, when I was young and I, smoked weed or whatever, that was a bit uncomfortable because it was something that I wasn't supposed to be doing and this and that, and I didn't just start smoking a whole blunt in one sitting. It was like a little hit here, a little hit there, and over time, it got to be comfortable. I got tolerant to it. So for people that are already doing stuff like that, you're already eating a certain way, you didn't just start off eating, bad all the time. Some people, when they're kids, obviously, and the way their parents feed them, or they're always eating out, they become obese. It's a very slow, gradual thing, but when you're a baby, you just don't start eating stuff like that. It's got to be a very slow progression. But you start being more comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then it's always important to still challenge yourself. So little baby steps. Take work, for example, even a job, You may be uncomfortable when you first get there. That's the first step right there. Then the more you're there, the more comfortable you get, you start learning more stuff. The more confident you get. Before you know it, it becomes a routine. It becomes your comfort zone then. But it's just taking that first step. Recognizing that there is a problem is the first step. Because a lot of people don't like to think that they have a problem. They like to think, I got it all under control, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm talking about. Nobody's perfect. So, just that first step of knowing that you need to change is a step in the right direction. That's the first step of being accountable. But normally, when you don't think there is anything wrong, what we learn as personal trainers, and even in the nutritionist course, is about different stages. Stages of change. And the very first stage of change is the pre-contemplation stage. And that's where people have no intention of changing. They just start contemplation. Then you have the second step, which is contemplation. That's when you see a possibility of change. You start to think about it. Then obviously you have your preparation stage, your action stage, your maintenance stage, and there's even a relapse stage. So the contemplation is basically when you acknowledge that there's an issue, but you're not yet ready to make a certain change on it. Then you have your preparation stage, which that's the stage where you acknowledge there is an issue and your intention is to eventually act. You intend on acting. And then after that is the action stage, where you change your behaviors at that point. Once you start doing that for long enough, then you get into the stage of maintenance. And that's just sustaining those behavioral changes. A lot of people they'll get on a diet or whatever, and they're never a sustainable diet. It's normally one of these fad diets like keto or carnivore diets that I do not recommend. I went over in my last live about the dangers of those diets. And I did put a timestamp in there, so you can go ahead and skip right to that point. But these people will get on a diet, they'll get some results, and then they will go to the relapse stage, and they'll go straight back to the way they were eating. They're like, oh, I hit my goal, now I earn, excuse me, I can go back the way I was. No. You have to maintain that. If you like where you become, you gotta stay in that maintenance stage. And you gotta be accountable for that. Otherwise you will relapse. So that's why I never recommend the unsustainable diet, the fad diets. That's what I meant to say. I never recommend keto, I never recommend carnivore. Because if you start cutting out all your carbs and stuff like that, carnivore is one of the worst ones. Obviously you're going to see a little bit of change in the beginning, but what's going to happen is if you try to maintain that carnivore diet, what happened to the sailors in the 1800s? What did they all die of? They died of scurvy because all they brought with them was, I believe it was grains and meat. And they didn't have any vitamin C. They died of those deficiencies. People that just try to do carnivore, they don't eat any grains, they don't eat any fruits, they don't eat any of that stuff. And while you may lose weight in the short term, if you try to sustain that for the long term, you're going to run into a host of problems. So I do not recommend carnivore, I do not recommend keto. Keto, basically you're cutting out all your carbs. You're going to run into issues like brain fog, because glucose is the number one source of energy for your brain. People get brain fog. You can get into ketoacidosis, which can be life-threatening as well. So yeah, they're going to promote these fad diets because they know the average person's not going to do enough research, and they're going to keep staying on those diets until they end up in the hospital, where those big wigs make more money. Because it's all about the dollar bill. Dollar bill, y'all. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. That's all it's about. Sick world we live in. Disgusting. Makes me want to grow up. So, don't let these people think for you. I encourage you to do your own research. I get it, not everyone's going to go to school for this stuff. That's why I'm here to educate you. I'm here to give you the real, raw, uncut truth. Not sugar-coated. Because I don't eat sugar anyways. You may be saying, oh, Dave, I thought we needed glucose. How are you going to get glucose without sugar? Well, you got natural sugar in fruits. I don't need added sugar. Also, the carbs that I eat, like the oats, the potato, the good complex carbs, your body converts carbs into glucose. So, just because you don't eat table sugar doesn't mean you're not getting glucose. You start cutting out carbs, you start cutting out all that stuff, then you're not getting glucose. So, a lot of people know, like, sorry, my stream is cutting out. And of course it'd be when I'm saying something important, but I said a lot of people know carbs. I mean, they know glucose and fructose is sugar. But like I said, your body's going to convert carbs into glucose. So you don't need to eat extra sugar. Whatever you get in your fruits, whatever you get in carbs, that's going to be enough for your body to create glucose. So you don't got to eat all the cinnamon buns, muffins. All that stuff is simple carbs. You don't want to eat a whole lot of bread, pizza. That stuff's not complex carbs. That's flour, dough. You don't want that stuff too much. Not saying you can never have it. Just limit it, because you really want to be getting complex carbs. Stuff like oats. And I'm not talking about the little pre-packaged oats with all the sugar added into it. Get you a nice old-fashioned oats, you know, a nice box of it. And you can add your own fruits to it if you want. I like adding a diced banana in mine in the mornings. I add Splenda to sweeten it up a bit. Splenda doesn't have a crap load of calories like sugar, so you're going to be able to still maintain your calories. And that's what it's all about. Calories in, calories out. We ain't in this for clout. I'm trying to help you out. Get a little bit of rhyme in there. That's what I do. It's all about the food you put in your mouth at the end of the day. So, food is fuel. That's where we get our energy. Our sustainable energy. Excuse me. Complex carbs are going to be very sustainable. Since they take longer to break down in your body, you'll have longer lasting energy. Stuff like a breakfast muffin or flour, that stuff just goes through you, like, just breaks down so easily. The energy doesn't stay with you. And it's super calorie dense too. So you put on a lot of weight with just a little bit of flour. You want nutrient dense foods, you don't want calorie dense foods. People don't get enough nutrition. They damn sure get enough calories. And that's another thing I learned in the nutritionist course. It's called hidden hunger. It means you have enough calories, but you're not getting enough micronutrients and macronutrients. Hidden hunger. If someone ever tries to tell you vitamins are a myth, just look at their build. That'll tell you all you need to know. But yeah, you can Google all this stuff. Hidden hunger. Actually, it was part of my quiz. A very small part of my quiz. There's a lot of stuff in that quiz. Down to the scientific level. Whew. I had to learn about lipids. How things work in the body. And lipids is just another word for fats, basically. Epithelial tissues. Stuff that you probably won't be using when you're training people, but it's still good to know. So, you know things on a molecular level. Alright, we're at 1,084 active calories in. Once we hit 1,200, we're going to start our cool down. 1,200 or 2 hours and 20 minutes, whatever comes first. You know a lot about this stuff. Yeah, I've been studying. I go to school for this, so I just got my cert as a nutritionist, a nutrition coach, I should say. And I already did my certified personal training course. You learn quite a lot in that stuff. I figured I've been doing my nutrition and my exercise now for going on 3 years. Why not really take it to the next level? Learn everything, even if stuff I didn't know. That way I can help educate other people too. Not that I couldn't before, but people like to see that you're certified in something, and it gives you a little more credibility, I guess you could say. And I can explain things deeper now. Because there were some things I didn't really know. a lot of the important stuff I already knew, which gave me a leg up on my studies. Some tests I didn't even really have to study because I knew 80 to 90% of what they were saying in those quizzes already. But I still read through everything. It was just like reading something I've already read before, pretty much. Stuff I had to study more on was like stuff on a scientific level, on a molecular level, on a cellular level, and the things I really won't be using when I'm teaching people. But I did learn, things about biomechanics, imbalances in muscles and things like that, and how to correct those imbalances. I have some other courses to take too, like corrective training, strength and conditioning training, transformation specialist. I should have fun with that one because I made my own little transformation. And yeah, so we'll do some more studies. I have till November for a lot of these things to finish before they expire, so I'll buckle down on those. October or November, I have to look back up on it. Some of them were even July and June. Or maybe I think one of them was in July. I've already done that. That was my personal training. That's the one I wanted to get done first. Alright, we're at 1,120 active calories burned. We've got about 80 more to go. We're getting it. Excuse me. Feeling strong, feeling good, feeling some energy. And we'll be ready for the day after this. It really doesn't matter what time of day you do your cardio as long as you get it done. There's been times that I did it at 10 o'clock at night. In fact, when I first started doing cardio, a lot of times it was later on in the day. I remember actually, there was one night when I first started getting into cardio, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and I got all this food. I got the wings. There was this deal that they had going on, and I got the cheese curds. I ate so much. I woke up at like 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock, and my stomach was just like, it was messed up. So I was so upset with that, I got on the cycle, and I just went to town on cardio. I think I did like 20 kilometers, I can't remember. It was still pretty early in my journey. And I just felt so much better after that, and I said, man, I'm never eating that crap again. To this day, I haven't had Buffalo Wild Wings, and I used to love that stuff. But the stuff is just so high in calories, they jack it up so much. I mean, yeah, it tastes great, but your stomach feels horrible when you eat stuff like that all the time. And I think even earlier in the day, before that, I probably had some Tokyo hibachi place. And, that stuff is just super calorie dense, not a whole lot of nutrients in it. And it's like, why do you need that many calories? Are you about to go on a marathon? You about to do like a 100-mile run or something? Like, people getting all these calories in them, and then they just sit down and turn on Netflix or turn on a game. It's like, dude, what are you doing? You have no idea how calories work. And I get the majority of people don't. That's why I'm here. We're at 1,050 calories. I'm going to take another quick piss. This is my pre-workout's going through me today. And we'll finish up. Hit 1,200 and cool down. I'm getting extra scoop of electrolytes. Plenty of water. I'm definitely losing a lot of sweat and pee. Alright, let's get this over with. Never just force yourself to keep going. Like, oh, I'm on the treadmill, or oh, I'm on the bike, I'll have to pee when I'm done. No, just take a quick break and jump back on. Your heart rate's still going to be where it needs to be. I'm at 124 still. That's still zone 2. Even if you got to do a number 2, I've had to do that a couple times while doing cardio. Your performance is going to be much better once you relieve yourself, as opposed to just holding it in. Or a lot of people like to do that at work. Oh, let me just hold it in, I just got this much more to do, let me just skip this meal, let me just, and it's like, you're going to be performing at a much higher level if you just eat that meal, if you just take that bathroom break. And if you're eating good, you're not going to be on the toilet for that long. Obviously, if you're eating like crap, yeah, you're going to be constipated. You don't have enough fiber, you're going to be constipated. You're going to be taking long breaks. And the boss is probably going to be like, well, what the hell are you doing? But if you're eating right, shoot, I'm never on the toilet for over 2 minutes. Heck no. It's less than a minute, and that stuff just comes right out and goes in one piece. So as long as you're getting the proper nutrition, you're never going to be in the bathroom for that long. And you're going to have the energy to get the stuff done. A lot of people like to go in the bathroom, they can't get nothing out, they just play on their phone. They're tired because they don't have energy from the lack of nutrition in the food that they eat. And that's where they start suffering. Once you get all that in check, heck, you'll be ready to sweat, you'll be ready to work, and you'll have energy to do it. While the rest of the people around you are complaining about being tired and this or that. Alright, we're at 1,174 active calories burned. Coming up on 1,200, we got 25 to go. Once we hit that, we'll start our cool down. And we'll cool down until 1,300 calories. But like I said, if you're not able to sit here and do like 2 hours of cardio, don't let that discourage you. The minimum of cardio a week is 150 minutes of light to moderate, cardio, zone 2. Or you can do 75 minutes a week of moderate to intense cardio per week. As long as you're getting your cardio in, you'll be fine. But I'll tell you right now, a lot of people aren't even getting the minimum in. So if you're not getting the minimum in, don't worry, you can work yourself up to the minimum. And I'll tell you right now, once you hit the minimum, you're going to have energy to be like, Why am I just settling for the bare minimum? Most people don't like settling for the minimum, so. You'll get to that point where you're able to do more, and now you're above the minimum. Before you know it, you're at an advanced level. And then before you know it, you'll be at an elite level. But wherever you are, everyone has a starting point. Like I said, when I started cardio, my starting point was 8 minutes on the bike. And I was sweating like a hog. Don't get me wrong, we still sweat during this, but it's nowhere near the amount I sweated when I first started. I was able to take my headband off and I could wring it out like Goggins. I have a video of me doing it. You could see how exhausted I was of this water coming everywhere. For me to do that now, I've got to be in zone 4 for quite some time. And I will get to that point of sweating, but it takes so much more now to reach that level than it did before. And I imagine it's the same for Goggins, because he's been doing it for a long time. And you don't just hit that level by not really putting in that work. So we're at now 1,199 after calories burned. It's not even 2 hours and 20 minutes in yet. We're at 2 hours and 19 minutes. And we're going to go ahead and start coming down. Start our reverse pedal. Someone asked me in the last live, why do I do this reverse pedal that I'm about to do? It's for your knees. It's to hit those muscles that normally don't get hit. Because in our everyday lives, we're always walking straight, we're walking forward. Or when we're doing cardio like this, we're always pedaling forward. We never get enough of the backwards walk or the backwards pedal. And those take different muscles to do those movements. So you'll realize, and you'll definitely feel when you start doing this, after a very long session or a long time of forward walking, how good it feels on your joints, your knees, the other muscles that aren't getting activated that are activating, and it almost like it balances you out. So that's why we do this backwards pedal at the end. Feels so good. So we're going to do this for a good 100 calories, 90 calories to go, and then we will wrap this up. When I start these sessions, I'm always like, well, we got 2 hours and 20 minutes to go. And it always seems longer than it actually is, because once I get into the swing of it and the motion of it, the time just flies. It's like a little time machine. So this is great for your recovery. And you can just feel the difference. I'm feeling it right now. Feels so good. We're at 1,220 calories, 80 to go. Not a lot of people do this, but there are some people that talk about the benefits and stuff like this out there, so do not sleep on it. Alright. Got about 75 calories to go before we hit 1,300 active calories burned. And as always, I'll show you my watch at the end of this. Show you my results. And then I'll also look up my from my past weeks of cardio how much I'm burning throughout the entire day, even after I do cardio at the end of the night. Through my NEAT, my non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And that's just a fancy word for moving throughout the day, you know, walking from here to there, cooking, going upstairs, just moving around, looking around. And that number does not include my basal metabolic rate. We're at 1,232 active calories burned, about 68 to go. And this is feeling great on my knees, my hamstrings. I'm getting a nice stretch in those areas that I wasn't getting when I was doing the forward pedal. And we're still burning calories. Anytime you move, you're burning a calorie. Your body is using energy to be able to move. Even when you're not moving, you know, breathing, growing hair, that's your basal metabolic rate. But it all requires calories at the end of the day to be able to do this stuff. That's why it's important to count your calories too. Make sure you're getting enough. Especially when you dial them in. We're at 1,243 active calories burned. We got about 57, now 56, slowly going up. To reach our 1,300 active calorie burn marker. That's not, you know, for everyone, that's not a magic number or anything that you have to, oh, I have to hit 1,300. That's just what the standard I've set for myself over the years. I used to burn more than this. I was doing 100-kilometer rides every other day. But I didn't have weights at that time, so I was mostly doing just calisthenics, like the pull-ups and the push-ups. That will build an incredible physique. But the weights will build the strength, which is great for your bones. A lot of people, they wind up with osteoporosis and things like that. They never did any weight training in their life. And that is responsible for growing your bones. Also getting the adequate amount of vitamin D and calcium. Your body needs that to repair the bones too. So when you do weights and stuff, just like it puts little micro tears in your muscles when you're working out, it also does like little micro fractures in your bones, which can repair when you're getting the proper nutrition and rest. That's why you see some guys that are not the ones on steroids, but the guys that actually do weight training. There's been a lot of studies done and x-rays on these older individuals, and a lot of them have stronger backs and bones than the younger crowd because they did the weight training. They look like they have like a 20-year-old back because their bones are that strong. But you got the ones like Ronnie Coleman who can't barely walk anymore because he took a lot of steroids. And what do steroids do? They help your muscles recover faster so you can train and get the growth of the muscle, but what does it not recover? It doesn't recover your bones. Your bones can't recover that fast. Your tendons can't recover that fast. Other tissues like that, they're not able to recover at the same rate as the muscle. And that's why they end up not being able to walk or not being able to have that amount of strength in their bones. You can do a lot more damage to yourself if you're not careful. That's why I never recommend doing that stuff. Just because it's popular. Just because you might get a little bit more looks. you might get a little more clout. I just recently saw that he's trying to, I don't know what he's doing, but he's trying to be able to walk again. And he's going to have to do all these surgeries. I don't know if it's going to be stem cells or what he's doing, or even if it's going to work. But all that money that he's earned, he's now going to have to put into these surgeries just to be able to walk again. Hopefully he can walk again. I would never wish that on anybody. But once you do certain damage to your body, it can't be reversed. You really got to think about that. Alright, we're at 1,280 active calories burned. We got about 20 to go. And we'll get there very shortly. So. We're actually in zone 3 by doing this little backwards pedal. We're up, we're not on the saddle, we're standing up, we're getting this nice recovery in. And like I said, this burns calories too. It hits all your muscles in a different way. Your blood flows going down different paths. And your heart's still working. At 130 now, high into zone 2. We got about 13 calories to go before we hit 1,300. And it's feeling great. I can't wait to get a little shower and get some nutrition. Yeah. 1,292, we got 8 calories to go. We're at about 2 hours and 29 minutes. So 2 hour and 30 minute sessions for this amount of calories to be burnt. Majority at zone 2. 5 calories to go. And 3, 2, coming up on 1. And we are done. We hit 1,300. So let me slow this pedal down. Good. Unhooked. Unplug that. And that's our result. 2 hours and 30 minutes, 1,300 active calories burned. Still in zone 2, 122. It's gonna slowly come down. But as always, y'all, appreciate y'all tuning in for another one. We'll be back. Probably, I should record something for tomorrow. I need to do a video a day, start doing that. Give y'all some content every single day, not just when I'm doing cardio or when I feel like it. I'm really serious about teaching people and getting them the right information they need. So keep your electrolytes on hand. And until the next one, y'all, much love and peace out.